Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio.
Thank
Welcome to
you.
Beyond the Capital. Great to have you here. Tell me about Incuto and what you do there.
Yeah, well, Incuto, we're based in Yorkshire, but our customers are nationwide. And what we do is we provide tech to businesses that are credit unions, community banks, community development financial institutions, known as CDFIs. And as well as key infrastructure, we provide them with the ability to tap into products and services that they wouldn't normally get access to. So we're that middle person that provides them with things like direct debits, faster payments, which seems basic stuff. But if you're a credit union, you're not used to having those access to those products. Absolutely. It is transformational for their business model. So that's what we do. So I think it's fair to say that we're in the fintech for good space. You know, we're all about that social impact. And quite simply, we believe that everyone should have access to. Sorry, I'll say that again. Quite simply, we believe that everyone should have access to fair and affordable finance. It's that simple.
That's simple. So you mentioned a little bit there then about credit unions and the need of your basic infrastructure. But what was it like when it started? What was I suppose, the moment? Was there a moment? I'm assuming there was a moment. There might not have been. It's one of those things, isn't it? You know, sort of genius happens in flashes. That's how we all picture it. But it's probably similar to the startup, isn't it? What was the tipping point? Let's frame it like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wasn't actually at Incuto at that point, but the founder of the business, Andrew Rabbit, actually, he probably started the Incuto journey in 2016, and he was selected to build a school banking program. So it was like a savings bank for the schools, and he created that program. It was fantastic. It was called Lifesavers, and it was actually the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Church of England that spearheaded it. But that led him to the world of credit unions. And one day he was asked by a credit union to enable them to send their customers, who are called members, a happy birthday message, because they couldn't do it with their technology that they had. And Andrew, as he is honestly, if you met him, you'd know what I mean. He is of course, we can do that. So he created that. And after that happy birthday message, that just escalated into all sorts of things. So then the Incuto developed, they evolved into providing online capability for credit unions so that their members could join online, apply for loans online, access things like faster payments to get their money out instantly instead of it taking 3 or 4 days. It was all about making the end user, the credit union's customers, their members, a better experience. And that's what the tech enabled him to do. And of course, you know, he's on a mission because he genuinely is on a mission, and he wants this tech available to all, not just the big credit unions who had the monies to pay for it, to pay for that innovation, but he also wanted the smaller credit unions, which was where I come in, because I used to run.
I was going to say, how did you end up here in this head of advocacy role?
Indeed, well,
like, it's quite a curious, an unusual title.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in those days when he was starting off with that savings bank for children, I was running something called the Tyndale Community Bank then. It was an offshoot of a credit union, and someone mentioned it to me, and they said, "Do you want to be involved in that, Lauren, with Tyndale?" And I said, "Yes, I do." So I was straight there, and that's where I met Andrew. And subsequently, when I took over another credit union and was looking for technology, I turned to Andrew and his team to deliver that technology for me one step at a time. We were a small credit union. We were very manual based. We did everything like that took a fortnight. And Andrew came in and solved a few problems for us, providing that tech, and it transformed our business. It genuinely did. And so when it came time for me to hand on the credit union to others, I had a succession plan, and it worked.
Well done. Congratulations.
Yes, indeed. If you need that succession planning, come to me, because it worked like a treat. But I left the credit union. They're still doing very well. I'm absolutely delighted for them. But it was time for me to move on. And Andrew offered me a role with Incuto, because who's best to talk about technology and how to use it other than someone that's actually used it? So I worried in the beginning that I didn't know enough about tech. I didn't talk APIs and cloud and all this sort of thing. That wasn't. All I knew was how I used the technology in my credit union to transform it. And of course, that's the story he wanted me to tell. So, we've come up with this title of Head of Advocacy, but basically it's not about Incuto, it's about the sector, it's about credit unions, community banks, CDFIs, it's about those not-for-profits that are in the financial services sector that are so underutilised. We are so poor in this country at using this amazing vehicle we've got to help people.
There's such a poor relation, aren't they, in the system?
They so are. It's ridiculous, but Incuto are determined to change that, along with others, because, that's where the partnerships really come into their own.
So it's great that the word partnerships there. It sounded like you were already in one with the previous role and your route into Incuto. How then in this role and for the wider business, how important are partnerships? And can you give us a bit of a flavour of one or two that are important to you?
Absolutely. And, Andrew, our CEO, and I would be the first to say that we didn't come here to do it all alone. We want more businesses in this space to help our ultimate customers. So the more the merrier for us. And lots of companies talk about partnerships and how they work in partnership. But for us at Incuto, it's actually, it's fundamental. It's reality, because we are where we are because of partnerships. So, our whole business model is formed of partnerships. Sometimes they're commercial, but without exception, there's something hanging it all together. And the hanging it all together is this ultimate aim of having tech for good, to give the tech, to democratise it, and to give it to people who wouldn't normally have access to it. So when we have, partnerships with big names that people will know, such as TransUnion, who are a massive, credit reference agency, and so much more. ClearBank, who are one of the, the biggest entrant into the banking market. I mean, a big brand. MasterCard, global brand. They are willing to work with us because they can see what we're doing, and that's what hangs it together.
So that values alignment underneath.
Values alignment, absolutely. And then we've got the smaller companies, people like Credit Canary, CU Apps, Goodwith, people who are offering things that are very much complementary to us. We don't see them as competitors. We see them as collaborators. We see them filling a gap that maybe we don't want to get into. We can't do everything. So,
so you're sticking to the knitting?
Absolutely, and not bothering with a crochet. No, but seriously, that's what it's all about, because you've got to think of your end user, the person that wants us to sort all this stuff out in the background. They don't want to know. They don't want to contact 10 different people to get some advice. They just want to go through a trusted provider, and they want all the background stuff to be sorted out. And that's what we really work to. So a partnership for us, a great partnership, is where, it's got to deliver for that ultimate customer, that end user. It's got to deliver for the partner that you're partnering with, and it's got to deliver for you. So if it delivers on all those three, that
Trinity.
Absolutely, that symbiotic relationship, that's a winner for us. And we've got bags of those, I can tell you. Loads of people want to work with us. We have to be quite choosy nowadays. It's a nice position to be in. Exactly, it's a nice position to be in.
So then, thinking about that, you've got the whole suite there of from the really small through to the large and the incumbents, like the MasterCards, the ClearBank. What are you offering that's different? Like, what attracts them at the top end?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the mainstream lenders, including the banks, have invested very, very heavily in tech, and they're building systems to say no to applicants for loans more quickly. So they're investing all this money to say no.
More quickly.
This is not what our lenders, the credit unions and the like, this is not how they work. Our lenders want to say yes. And so we could take what the big banks have, we could take a portion of their system, we could take their system light, we could do that. But our customers deserve far better than that. Our customers deserve a fit for purpose technical system that works for them. We don't want to tag on to legacy outdated stuff. We want to create our own. Our lenders need to be flexible, they need to be agile, because their customers, the people, the members who are coming for a loan, someone comes for a loan nowadays, they take a loan out, say, over 2 years. What happens over 2 years, I can tell you, life changes over 2 years.
It's actually quite a long time.
That repayment that you set on day one, you need flexibility with that. You do not need to be hammered with missed payment, fees and things. We want to see an agile environment for people who have to borrow money. It's bad enough that you need a loan in the first place.
It's not where you start out in life.
It's not where you start wanting loans for everything. But the reality is, for most of us, we will need loans at some points in life. And actually, for a lot of us, it's loans continually throughout life. Just think of mortgages. It's a big loan for a long time.
Most of your adult life.
I'm afraid this is fact. So we think our customers deserve much more from a system, from a provider, than what the traditional banks have to offer. So we see our tech very, very differently. Our approach, very, very different.
So the approach makes sense, but in need terms, how many are getting too many? I suppose, how many too many no's? What's that? How many more yeses do we need?
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge, to be honest with you. In fact, the figures are staggering. About 20 million people now in the UK, if they were to apply for a loan with their existing banker or existing lender, really, they would be turned down.
Well, that's not far off a third.
There are, seriously, there are hundreds of thousands of people every month go to a loan comparison website and do not get an offer. We at Incuto are working to put credit unions in front of those loan comparison sites to be included, so that the people who are looking for an affordable loan are not having to revert to people like loan sharks and high cost lenders. We're giving them the option of a credit union. Most people don't know about credit unions.
No.
So the need is huge. It's almost unbelievable.
So through Incuto, it's leveling the playing field a little bit with the rest of the financial services market that people do get exposed to but not serviced by.
Absolutely. Democratising financial services, that's what we're about. We want these facilities, these services, these products available for everyone. We've just got to widen the net of who we're catching. They just don't know about our customers, and that's what we need to help them solve.
It's quite a big mission.
Quite a big mission, yeah.
What's on the horizon?
Well, it's a very exciting time for Incuto. To be honest, we could say that every year because it genuinely
never changes.
But it never changes. It's a constant state of excitement. But we're very, very excited about our plans to extend on the comparison sites for credit unions and the likes. We want more of our lenders on those sites. We're going to be offering new virtual accounts and real-time reconciliation for payments, and that's new for the credit unions. We're doing that with the help of ClearBank, which is amazing. We're going to be providing new ways for our customers to compete with challenges such as buy now, pay later. We want to enable them to be another alternative, not of buy now, pay later, but an equivalent
in the choice spectrum.
Exactly. We're soon to launch our #GetToYes campaign because instead of people, getting to know
Computer
quickly,
says no.
Absolutely, we want people to get to yes. So that's going to be our 2024
I look
campaign.
forward to that. That looks fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's what we're about.
Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been brilliant to be here. Thank you so much for showing interest on us. And we're always happy to talk.